Man, I don't want to stop talking about this because this is the purpose and meaning of life. Like, I talked to, priests today about this. Like, I spent 4 years in college, right? Why did I go to college? Like, when I honestly sit back and I think about it, a big reason why I went to college was because that was the expectation that my parents had kind of placed into me from a very young age. And the fact that I encountered success in school, and was intelligent and able to, demonstrate proficiency from what all my teachers expected and required of me by, getting good grades. That's the measure of, proficiency. It was a positive thing in my life, which, the family life was not always a positive thing. So success in school and also, joy from being part of, sports teams was a source of life and positive reinforcement to me. So I naturally kind of like inclined myself towards things that were, positive when, there wasn't a whole lot of that going on in the family life all the time. So, which is just I think a pretty common experience with different details, according to each person's family circumstances, but and also according to the things that bring them joy and happiness. And so, I had a capacity for academic study which was conducive to setting me up to be successful in college. However, the thing that I lacked, and the thing that everyone actually lacks until is direction. Like, how can a man who is created to be in friendship and be in relationship with God, how can he find purpose and meaning in his life if he doesn't first discover that fundamental core meaning and purpose in life? So in other words, like, everything that I do from this point forward in my life has to be reflected against the reality of the ultimate question, which is, what is the meaning and purpose of life? With a capital meaning and purpose and life. So, like, okay, what is life all about? What is the purpose and meaning of life all about? And in a general way. And then, we narrow it down to, what is my purpose and meaning in this life? In other words, the purpose and meaning of life for everyone in a general way is to come to know and to love God and to walk in fellowship with Him, and in walking in fellowship with Him to share that experience of God's presence in my life with those who I encounter, whoever that might be. And it might be other people who already have an experience of God's presence in their life but are looking to grow in that experience. Or it may be, other people who have kind of an equal experience of God's presence in their life and who want to enter into fellowship, to serve, people together in a common, walk. This is most clearly seen in the way that Christian marriage is supposed to be. Unfortunately, there's not very many Christian marriages that I've ever witnessed that truly, even approximate or live up to that standard that, we are individual, independent lovers of the Lord. We have a relationship with Him. We prayerfully approach our relationship with Him and the decisions we make in life, and seeking how to use our gifts and our talents. And as a result of this process and this journey with God, we discover, a desire and a calling within us to join with another human being, in this common endeavor and effort, which is to, A, get to heaven, and B, to help, share and bring other people along in that process. And the process in and of itself of doing that is actually part of what God desires and wants for us, which is to grow in our freedom and our responsibility. He hands us more and more responsibility as we demonstrate and prove to Him that we can handle that responsibility. So in other words, people who don't already have a solid foundation in their prayer life and don't already have a solid relationship with God should never attempt to be married, in my opinion, because it's not possible for them to approach and approximate what marriage is supposed to be without already having, a mature relationship with God before they enter into it. Because how can I maturely enter into a relationship whose meaning is, to walk together in partnership, in fellowship with one another through God, if one or both of the individuals doesn't already have a mature relationship with God? Well, it's got to be both. And so, and out of that mature relationship with God and this discernment that this is the person He's calling me to walk in fellowship with for my life, we open ourselves to, accept the gift of life into this community. And, that's what kids are, family, kids and family life, that's what that's all about. So, it's not prudent for you to even contemplate and think about getting married in a Christian sense unless you yourself already are practicing your faith. It's just, I don't understand why the church allows that to happen. I think it's a serious mistake, and it leads to a lot of problems in society. And it leads to a lot of confusion too, because people are witness to these marriages which are probably not sacramental in many cases, and so they're getting a false witness to what Christian marriage truly is. And they're actually bearing false witness against the correct model of Christian marriage by remaining in a non-sacramental marriage and not discerning it properly in the first place. And that's where the church's responsibility the church has failed in its responsibility